So it seems Mono Green Landfall has seen a bit of an uptick in popularity on the ladder over the last couple of weeks since the banning of Badgermole Cub, and I haven't done a video on this archetype in such a long time, so I figured why not load it up on the arena and see how it stacks up against the meta, try to get some wins. And I think I don't really need to go over the deck too much because we've all been beaten down by Landfall from time to time. We're all very aware of the pain and suffering this deck is capable of delivering. But I will do a quick little overview. Of course, we are trying to load up a Tifa Lockhart or a Mossborn Hydra, searching for those one-turn kills when they present themselves. We also have the baby Chocobo over here. This thing gets out of control very quickly if you get it down early and it goes unanswered. And all of that is enabled by cards like Bristly Bill, Earthbender Ascension, Traveling Chocobo, and Icetill Explorer, all cards that have amazing landfall synergies or landfall abilities. But I'm playing this particular build of the deck today because of this card right here, the 4 copies of Sapling Nursery. I really like this card in this archetype, especially in this current meta where people are playing a ton of removal, a lot of interaction. If you're able to resolve a Sapling Nursery, this card will allow you to grind out those games much better if you don't have a card like this. And we're also playing 3 copies of Ouroboroid. Love it or hate it, you can't argue with the fact that this thing's going to work pretty dang well when you are loading up a field of Treefolk. So here is the deck that we're going to be trying out in this video, but I did want to mention three other cards because if you do go searching for other Mono Green Landfall decks, you're going to find some different lists that have some variations to them. One of those variations being the Might Form Harmonizer decks. This thing, of course, works very well when you are loading up one creature with an Earthbender Ascension, giving it trample with this card, and then doubling up the power of that creature for a massive kill. Other decks lean into the Spring Bloom Druid or the Ordeal of Nylea. This one is, I think, more all in on the Tifa Lockhart, Mossborn Hydra one-turn kill plan, where you're really just looking to get those extra landfall triggers as quickly as possible. But for today's video, we're going to be playing this one, hoping for some success on the ladder, and hopefully we see some big old numbers. See you over in the games. All right, happy to finally be in the game this morning. Oh boy, I've talked about this before. Once in a while, the old tongue just does not agree with me, and I have a really hard time with the intros. And this morning was one of those mornings I just couldn't do it. I think we're going to throw away the Traveling Chocobo, and we're going to be all in on this Bristly Bill, Earthbender Ascension, hopefully finding the 4th land, Icetill Explorer situation. And if we can do that, we're going to be able to make some pretty big creatures pretty quickly, and this thing's definitely going to get up to 4, but we'll see. But yeah, long time doing that intro. Always sucks when that is the case. We are against a Bilbo Thief in the Night. This thing is actually going to get in on us, and that might not bode well for us if they have some way of taking advantage of it this time around. So spells you cast from anywhere other than your hand cost 1 generic mana less to cast. Not too bad. Don't know how they're going to be taking advantage of it. I know someone in the comments did mention that they wanted to see this card in one video, but I just don't really know how to take advantage of it. I guess you take advantage of it with practiced offense. It seems to be the case, right? There's the practiced offense. So this is now going to be a Bilbo for double striking 6 damage if they decide to go with the practiced offense. Sure. They put it on to, that's, oh yeah, it has haste, that's fine. Dang, that is a pretty good way to start off the game, if I do say so, and especially since we're sitting here on the draw, taking 10 points of damage on turn 3, you love it. Well, now that we have the Mossborn Hydra, is it actually a better plan to go this way than the Earthbender Ascension? I think it actually is going to be a little bit better. The opponent still has priority because of the Hardened Academic's ability to discard something. But yeah, so from here we can do a lot of damage next turn if we are allowed to do it. We'll see if we can do that. But they might honestly just be able to kill us, and the big problem is I don't really want to throw away my Bristly Bill, because I kind of need to put the extra +1/+1 counters onto the Mossborn Hydra. I'm saying all this like the Mossborn Hydra is going to survive. It's so foolish. There's no way it's going to survive. It never does. Opponents always just have it. Okay, maybe not. So we're only taking 8 points of damage here. Sure. They're able to cast this at instant speed. That's interesting. Whenever you attack, you may cast an artifact, instant, or sorcery spell from your graveyard. I see. So this is still only 9 points of damage, though. This is not 10 points of damage. Am I wrong on that? Yep, still looks like 9 points of damage to me. Okay. So, no block, take 9. Try to get them on the backswing. Do they have some miraculous card that can find a little bit more damage? I don't think so. So I haven't counted the damage here, but we're going to do our best. And I think we're probably good. I think we're doing the landfall thing. So the opponent's deck, much cooler than my deck, but with the Ice Till Explorer, we are going to be able to make this thing huge. And we chose the correct line, not stabilizing, just managing to squeak it out with 1 life. Hopefully the games don't keep going this way. Let's have a little bit of a better start. When you see a win like that last game, you so immediately understand, oh man, this hand sucks, right? We are going first though, and if we are able to get the Earthbender Ascension onto the field quickly, you know, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna take a little bit of a risky one. Let's push it to the limit, see how bad the deck might function if you don't do anything until turn 3. But that last game, when it's got to be so disheartening from the opponent's side of the field, right? When you were doing such a cool thing and then you just get Mossborn Hydra down. Mutable Explorer. So the opponent is ramping so much better than we are. Oh wow, nice to see ya, Bristly Bill. Thanks for showing up to the party. Okay, that's fine. We're gonna recover. We now have a 2/2 on the field. Next turn we have options. Maybe fewer options. Now we need to put something in front of this Leatherhead because it's going to be slamming in for a lot of damage. So, Traveling Chocobo gives us double triggers with the Earthbender Ascension. And I think probably that's going to be the best way to go about things. How much do I value putting this Llanowar Elf on the field? And I think the answer is not too much. Oh no, I misplayed this. I misplayed this very much. So, oh man, I forgot what Leatherhead does. Leatherhead has the ability to remove our Earthbender Ascension, and I think I can't really allow that to happen, right? So, unfortunately, if they come crashing in with the Leatherhead, I'm going to be forced to put... Oh, thank gosh. Now, do I want to keep the Tifa Lockhart? The Tifa Lockhart in this matchup might actually be a pretty good card, and I think I value having it over not having it. So here we have a couple of options. We can go, of course, we always have options. Bristly Bill to start putting +1/+1 counters on things, which will stem their attack quite a bit. I also want to get the Tifa Lockhart onto the field, so we have kind of 4 mana to play with. So is it Bristly Bill plus Tifa? I think it is. Okay, like this. I'm gonna spread out some of the counters here, and we're gonna start getting counters from the Earthbender Ascension. Fantastic. Yeah, let's put it there. And yeah, Tifa, because we're gonna be looking to finish them off on the following turn. All we need to make sure to do is make sure that they don't use Leatherhead to destroy my Earthbender Ascension. That's my only goal. And if they don't come, they gotta kind of come crashing in on this turn. If they don't come crashing in, yeah, they know the plan here. That's a 7/6 now. They have to attack. It's a bad attack, but I feel like they kind of have to, right? They choose not to. They have, okay, they have the Seam Rip for Tifa. That's a problem. Okay, we're gonna keep the Escape Tunnel. I think it's fine. It's another Tifa on the top, but we gotta shuffle it away because there's no way I can't put the Earthbender Ascension onto the field. I shouldn't have done that. I should have loaded up another. I'm sorry. I didn't know what that was. I was just being dumb. I'm struggling. This morning's a morning. doesn't really matter too much because we have so many triggers. And now we have a Sapling Nursery that we're going to be able to put on the field very cheaply. So as long as we just hold off Bjorn, the Furious, which is just such a cool card. Wow, they have everything. They've used all of their cards. I should have cracked the Fable. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have. They have everything they could possibly hope for, don't they? Okay, what are you doing? They draw another card with the Fierce Bear. And they have to start thinking about cracking in soon, right? They choose not to. They are more cowardly than I am. Ooh, okay. What a draw. It's not the... I mean, it's a pretty great draw, right? So let's get a whole bunch of triggers here. We'll make big Tree Folk. This is just going to turn into a grindy matchup now. I don't know how this one's going to end up going in the end. We're going to be able to push through a ton of damage at some point. I do think we are putting the Ice Till Explorer onto the field, though, because we want we want maximum creatures. This is just going to be a huge board. Draw or mill that, sure. It doesn't matter. Here. I want to be able to challenge the Leatherhead. It honestly doesn't really matter where all these go. We still have so many more trees that we're going to be able to put on the field. And then on the following turn, we actually have many landfall trigger. Like, okay, we should be able to be fine. One more turn of waiting around. Do they finally come crashing? What a board state. What a board state we've created here, Ryan. I really wonder what would have happened if all those turns ago, when I would have had to put my Forest and Traveling Chocobo, probably would have had to, in front of the Leatherhead, how the game would have shaped up. Also, this card has drawn them so much, right? What are they going after? Sapling Nursery? Traveling Chocobo? Everything is bad. Ice Till Explorer? Fine. So they're pushing us to crack... Actually, why? They're not really forcing me to crack it. But I guess I do it anyways. Triggers. We do still have the Ice Till Explorer in hand, so I'm not too worried about things. I think probably I need to go big on some stuff here. Also, if I end up having a good card on the top, maybe I need to... Is that really... Well, I'm milling it. Okay. Should I maybe just let the Ice Till Explorer go away because I don't want to keep milling stuff into my graveyard? Tifa. Do I care about Tifa? No. But let's just let them have that. My turn. So we're going to do one more crack here. This gives me even more trees. And you know what I would like to see is an Ouroboroid, actually. That would be probably the best thing. I don't know how many I've actually put into the graveyard, but it's probably quite a few at this point. All right, what's going to be our new card? Oh, it was just a Tifa again? Shaz's Chocobo. Okay. Well, Ice Till Explorer number 2 hitting the field. Yeah, I put it out. Sure. Okay. And that is why I like Sapling Nursery. It just allows you to grind. But what a board state. It's so silly. Big Math is our third opponent. In that last game, I'm kind of now wondering, thinking back to it, like, did I have a better earlier line that I could have taken? I really don't know. I wonder. I think Llanowar Elf, when you have a 3-drop, is the way to go over the Chocobo. It feels right to me to do that. I don't know. We'll see. Especially now that I have the Traveling Chocobo. The Traveling Chocobo is going to enable this Earthbender Ascension to get out of control real fast. We are on the play for this one, so that's kind of the opening hand that you want to have, and it's a Voice of Victory. That Voice of Victory is not really going to be able to stand up to us. So let's go Shaz's Chocobo. we'll go Traveling Chocobo. Try to find a land on the top. Ooh, it's a good one too. Oh man, this is what you want. I actually don't think I want the third Traveling Chocobo, so we're probably going to shuffle that away with the Fable Passage. And then next turn, we probably win. What do they go? They go after this Traveling Chocobo, right? You have to. Yeah. So let's crack this just to get a little bit more juice on our baby Chocobo. Escape Tunnel. Okay, Escape Tunnel is good. Doesn't matter where these counters really go, I think. They can't attack in with the Voice of Victory. And next turn, what we're going to do is... Well, we have two choices. We could Ouroboroid Landfall, pump... Yeah, no, there's really only one choice. This is insane, right? Because this gives everything +3/+3. We are kind of missing out on Trample, though. But if I'm just forcing my opponent's Voice of Victory to jump in front of the Baby Chocobo right off the bat, that's... Seems like a pretty good position to be in. So many threats. You have your removal with the emptiness, but what do you remove? At the end there, what do you remove? The opponent really only had one choice. They couldn't remove the Baby Chocobo. I mean, anything. It was such a bad spot. Okay, from here. Could I have saved my... Actually, now I'm thinking about it. Oof, gross. But, you know what? I'm going to try it. Now I'm wondering, could I have put +2/+2 onto my... I think I could have put +2/+2 onto the Traveling Chocobo. I'm too out of practice with this deck. That's the situation. Okay, so we just throw our Llanowar Elf probably to the wolves. We'll see. Actually, I'm just going to crack this. There's no reason to feign. Oh, I'm going to crack it on your end stab. Yeah, it's going to be cracked, so just crack it. Who cares? The opponent... with the dreaded turn 1 Verge, so they did not have the black mana for maybe removal for the Llanowar Elf. Could have been the case. Oh boy, are they going to hold up Interaction? That's the question now. And I'd love to get the Earthbender Ascension on the field and then put out the Fable Passage. Ego Drain. Target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from it. What do they choose? Yeah. I have a feeling that this opponent is probably going to be... Oh, I guess I should have read the rest of that card. If you don't control a fairy, exile a card from your hand. Interesting. I think the opponent's probably going to be able to remove our Mossborn Hydra and our Tifa Lockhart very effectively. So what I'm going to do is opt to put this other Earthbender Ascension that they didn't grab onto the field. Because I think it's probably going to be really hard for them to get rid of it, and it's probably going to enable us to start pushing in quite a bit of damage. Yeah. Throw down the Shaz's Chocobo, throw down the Tifa Lockhart, or the Mossborn Hydra. Tifa. Get onto the field, my girl. They have the Spell Snare. Pretty good card that lines up very nicely against that play. But now we get to start slamming in. Whether I want to... I don't think I want to crack the Fable Passage just yet. There's really no point in just getting one more point of damage in from the Earthbender Ascension. And I'd rather, yeah, get extra triggers from the potential Mossborn Hydra in the future. Ouroboroid. So now... Oh, it's such a sticky spot. Is the opponent gearing up for a board wipe? You see these colors. You know that the opponent is on a board wipe plan. And I don't want to load up the field too much, but I also have to load up the field enough that it incentivizes them to fire off that removal. Okay, I'm going to play it a little cowardly, just get in for just a little bit of damage. Could have done an extra 2 points of damage there cracking the Fable Passage, but like I said, I'm a little bit scared. Search your library for a creature card, reveal it, put it in your hand or into your graveyard. Hold up, what's that about? Opponent, what are we doing with Raph and Mikey over there? Hey, what's that? What's that about? So we're back in this spot where we've missed on our lands. So I think this time I am going to crack the Fable Passage. That Raffen Mikey is terrifying. Okay, we're going to also spread out the love here a little bit and go in. This is another 7 points of damage. They are down to 4. Maybe I should have put out the Shaz's Chocobo before cracking the Fable Passage, but I just, like I said, I don't really know what to expect from the opponent's side of the field. They're playing... You know, this is something I've definitely mentioned, is there's definitely a lot of benefit to playing a rogue deck. When you play a rogue deck like this, Rakshas's Bargain, it's really hard for the opponent to be able to put you on anything. Like, are they really going to be playing Deadly Cover-Up? Probably. I would play Deadly Cover-Up in this type of deck. Augie Swamp Visions for the big old Mikey. Let's see what Mikey's able to turn up. It's an Adamantoise. That's cool. So they hit us for 15 points of damage, but they are now down to 1 card, 2 mana. And I suppose we go for, yeah. Okay, kind of just worked out for us. The patience, the opponent actually didn't have the board wipe, and once in a while, I suppose, yeah, they don't have the wipe. They don't have the... Oh, I forgot what Ancient Adamantoise does. Oh no. Oh no. I was so confident. All damage is put onto the Ancient Adamantoise. I'm giving the opponent so much more time now. Okay. So, am I dead? I don't have trample, right? It wouldn't matter if I had trample. Okay, let's go in just with these two. So the Ancient Adamantoise dies. They get an infinite number of treasure tokens, seemingly 10. And so now they have 2, 4, 6, 7, 17, 18 mana. 18 mana to do what they want with us. But we do have a good board. So the Raffen Mikey can't necessarily get in. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I didn't even know I was at, like, just completely toast. Beautiful. Love it, opponent. Everything about that was incredible. Sometimes you really do stumble into magic, real magic. I wonder how many creatures they have in their deck and how lucky or predicted the Ancient Adamantoise was. Maybe they're only playing one more creature, and yeah. Wow, talk about a card that just hoses you. I did not expect that. I think that's actually like the first time I've ever attacked in on an opponent and had it all sopped up by the Ancient Adamantoise. Some real landfall player thinking in that last game. Just, I just slam in, I can win. I was so overconfident that I was going to be able to destroy the opponent in that last game. But we're out here learning lessons, valuable lessons. Be careful when giant turtles hit the field. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. All right, this time around we're gonna lead on the Shaz's Chocobo. I don't have the good turn 3 for the Llanowar Elf. I think I'd rather just get the Chocobo onto the field now. Well, look what showed up. But it's fine. It's actually kind of fine. So I could go with the Tifa. The Tifa allows me to output some good damage on the following turn, but I think it's probably going to be Llanowar Elf into the Fable Passage. Just leave up the Chocobo as a blocker and maybe even be tempted to double block on the Voice of Victory. I think that might be a little crazy, but the option is definitely there if I really desperately want to get rid of the Voice of Victory. Honestly, with the Enduring Innocence now, do I want to trade a Llanowar Elf for a Voice of Victory? I really don't want them drawing that many cards. And what am I really going to do with 4 mana? Not a whole lot. I think I'm fine. So they kill Lanny, but at least they don't have that annoying repetitive thing going on. So from here, the option is Earthbender or Tifa. I think it's definitely going to be Earthbender Ascension. And whether or not I actually want to attack in, or if I just want to hold back the Shaz's Chocobo as a blocker is the next question. I think probably it's fine. They are gaining a kind of, you know, ideal 4. They gain 2 back. I think it's fine. Vengeful Blood Witch. Okay. Alright, so we desperately need our Earthbender Ascensions to start triggering and giving us trample, because the opponent is going to have a wide board of creatures that can just jump in front of everything. But we didn't draw a land. A land there would have been so much better, because I could have gone Tifa plus Earthbender Ascension. Okay, let's slam the Ouroboroid, I think. Start getting this going, and then maybe it's we gotta get some fetch lands is kind of what I need. A Fabled Passage would probably be like the best draw off the top, because then I can go Earthbender Ascension, Fabled Passage, crack, then put out the Tifa Lockhart, and then gear up for something on the following turn. Tifa's going to get really big with the what? Okay. Oh, is this -3/-3 counters? I never knew that it was -3/-3 counters. I always thought it was... That sucks. Just give -3/-3. I never really paid much of attention to it. And we do not hit what we need. Again, a little bit of an awkward situation, but I need to get now my Ouroboroid back into positive power level. But I'm not doing it on this turn. So I think probably what it is actually going to be Mossborn Hydra. Mossborn Hydra, they still can't really attack in, and we are still desperately searching for a land. The deck is playing 24 lands. We should be able to find one. We're stuck at 4, I guess 4's, nah, 3. We drew 3. We still do have the Earthbender Ascension that can allow us to get 1, but next turn, hopefully it's a fetch land. Fetch land really just allows this deck to go nutty. Interesting attack from the opponent. I guess this is an attack because they have a future... Oh, they just want to dig. Okay, maybe they have a future Raise the Past, though. Love this card in Raise the Past. Just played it for Wednesday's video, correct? I think this is Friday's video. Wednesday's video was the Aristocrats deck. This looks like a very similar deck to what I was playing. And it's a good deck. It plays very well. Man, we're learning a lot of lessons today. I really didn't know that Emptiness was -3/-3 counters. It really makes a difference, actually. And the opponent down to 2 mana. They could still have removal for... Wow. Second Emptiness. The Mossborn Hydra. It's actually devastating. Goodness gracious. We're getting beat up on by opponents who just... They just have it. Last opponent hitting that Ancient Adamantoise. I'm going to be thinking about that one for all day. And then this opponent with a double Emptiness. They do get to Surveil and Scry a lot. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, Fabled Passage is in there. So, the Ice-Till Explorer was a big draw for us. It's actually kind of a huge draw for us. What this is going to allow us to do is eventually get the Earthbender Ascension up to 4 quest counters. And then we can start putting counters onto our Ouroboroid, so our Ouroboroid can actually start pumping our team next turn. And this also allows us this turn to put out the Tifa Lockhart. So for the following turn, we do have that potential lethal attacker. Oh, we actually get to put +1/+1 this turn. So that's good news. Okay, so we've undone the damage wrought by their Emptiness. The thing is, I might just be dead on the following turn because they have been surveilling stuff to the top of their library. Actually, I haven't really been paying attention if they've been putting stuff in the graveyard or not. But if they have a Raise the Past, we die. 100% of the time, we die. And so what they might do is spend this turn triggering stuff, triggering the Surveil until they end up finding the Raise the Past, loading up their graveyard, and then we die on the following turn. So that's 1 in the bin. Assuming once they leave a card on top, we know we're done. Assume that this is not a Raise the Past. I don't know how long that card's been in their graveyard, but... Or in their hand, rather. So they just keep putting stuff in the graveyard, though. It honestly, it might be. I'm worried it might be a Raise the Past. Am I gonna get? Yeah. They didn't sack the Vengeful Blood Witch, interestingly. They had a Sephiroth. Wow. And they saw it coming. Alright, so we got very lucky that the top of their library didn't have one of their Raise the Past. We were 100% dead otherwise, but... Wow. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Sometimes lucky, I suppose. That was game number 5. These are actually not going by as quickly as I thought they would be. Okay, from here, let's get the baby Chocobo on the field again. Llanowar Elf, great when I can go into a 3-drop, but I think I'd rather just get the threat on the field right now. Yikes, that is a scary thing. Now with the Ice-Till Explorer, I kind of feel like maybe I need to put out the Llanowar Elf so I can get up to 4 mana. And maybe if we can get that on the field, we can maybe find some Fable Passages and really start to gear up towards this Sapling Nursery. Possibly this was just a bad keep now that I'm kind of looking at it, because we only had 2 forests. We had the Sapling Nursery. This was 100% a mulligan, right? Because with what I have, even regardless of what the opponent is on, we are just hoping that the top of our library does something for us. Okay, this is an Orzhov Drain list, or not Orzhov Drain, Orzhov Aggro. I'm not really sure what's going on with it. And there it is. Not good. Not good, not good, not good. We're back into the please top of my library, treat me well. Yeah, this was just a stupid keep, and now I'm going to be sitting... Oh, Blue Mana has entered the chat. This is an Esper deck, which makes more sense because you definitely want to have access to Kaido if you're messing around with Dream Beavers, which seems like we're going to get Kaido'd here. If I don't find... Okay. If I don't find the 3rd land, though, here, I don't think there's any hope in this game. Opponent passes the turn, has a stop set to our upkeep. What could that all be about? All right, Wondrous Wasp to neuter one of our Chocobos that are not growing, so who cares? And hey, it's a Fable Passage, which is a pretty good one, because what this means is on the following turn, if we end up finding an untapped land, we can put out the Ice-Till Explorer, double landfall stuff. So that's not bad. It also gets me a little bit closer to the Sapling Nursery, which hopefully they don't have a way of stopping, right? If we find another forest... Actually, we just need to get the Ice-Till Explorer on the field. If we can land that, we'll be laughing. Even if they take out the Tifa, I'm not really too worried about that. Sure, fine. They take 3 damage to do it. Okay, moment of truth. We sacrifice the escape tunnel. Hopefully not shuffle the land that we were going to draw to the bottom of our library and find a land. 4th land? Never lucky. Last couple games, we've definitely... I don't know. We've had some luck in this course of games. I don't know. I feel like things are really betraying me now. The opponent's deck is neat, though. Spectacular Spider-Man. You don't expect to see that. But I suppose if you're playing a flash deck, it's not the worst card to have ready. They're probably also playing We Say Thee Nay, so I should expect any big thing that I want to put onto the field to get countered. And they come in. Well, there's no way I'm going to sit here hemorrhaging life, throw away the Shaz's Chocobo. I think it's a fine trade for Spider-Man. That could mean that they have another Spider-Man in hand, maybe one of their last 2 cards of Spider-Man. They were just willing to get rid of one to play out another one. And so... do I think the opponent has a We Say Thee Nay? I think so. I'm going to cast out the... Whoa! Okay. Okay. That changes things. Big time, because now next turn I'm going to be able to put the Ice-Till Explorer onto the field. And with the Ice-Till Explorer, we're going to be able to just have a whole good time. Put that underneath the Cecil? Why not? I think it doesn't really matter. The opponent seemingly having not a whole lot that they can do here. What's the follow-up? Do something. Another Cecil. That's wild. Their hand must be so bad. Okay. Please resolve, please resolve, please resolve. Okay. I think it's probably GG now. Unbelievable that the opponent ran so poorly that they just didn't have any kind of interaction. That was weird. Having double, I mean, hey, 2026 Magic. That word right there causing a lot of problems for people. As usual, I was kind of planning on trying to get 10 games in, but we are already near the 40-minute mark on game number 7, and it might not work out that way. Not great, but I really don't want to go down to 5, so we're going to keep the 3 lands and the cards that we can play out and pray that the opponent is a little bit slow and that the top of our library gives us a Bristly Bill off the top. Please and thank you. Okay, land it is. We are against Kona. You know what? Hey, maybe we'll get to 10 games after all, because this one's shaping up to be a quick one. we are dead. Ooh, Tifa. So, if I go Traveling Chocobo, or no, I think you go Earthbender Ascension and then Traveling Chocobo and then try to avenge. Oh man, do they have counter for it? Exhaling Breath. Ooh, just lost in the maze. We might just be dead on the next turn though. So maybe, hey, you know what? A quick one. Some of these games have been a little bit grindy, so if we end up getting hit by the turn 4 Kona into Omniscience, you know what? Oxius? Thank you for the quick one, I suppose. Sometimes that's the way it goes. Dragon with a stock up. So you're telling me there's a chance, opponent. You're telling me there's a chance. Okay. So from here, we do Traveling Chocobo. We do Forest. We get double triggers on our Earthbender Ascension, and we put out the Tifa Lockhart, and we aim for the next Spell Snare. Kona deck's running Spell Snare. What is a Spell Snare for in a Kona deck? Like, what 2 CMC thing are they so worried about stopping? Get Lost, maybe? No, that doesn't make sense, does it? Whoa, they had it. They had it. Can you believe it? Consult the star charts. They get one more card. We're gonna make them have the final card that they need to loop or get the loop going. And once they show us that, then we can move on with our lives. But until I see that, we're gonna hang in there. Orang River Regent to draw 3. Okay. And they find... Okay, they're still digging. They're just digging. Sometimes the opponent's sitting there on 4 Omni... I just noticed that the opponent's also playing Omniscience sleeves. This is a gamer. Another draw spell. In a deck like this, I'm really surprised that you're able to justify playing... That should be it. I think Formidable Speaker allows them. I'm really surprised that they're able to play Spell Snare. I suppose you play a little interaction, you pray that it's in your opening 7 or whatever, and that your opponent plays out. Like, why Spell Snare? What? That card just doesn't make any sense to me. Didn't matter. It's not like we were gonna get an attack off anyways. But Hydrad is next, and our opening hand looks not so terrible, but also not great. What do you think about this? The dungeon module Evolving Wilds. I remember picking these up years and years ago. I don't even know if I was making videos at that time. But I don't know how I feel about it now. Looking at it, it's so not a Magic card, I think is what I want to say. Wizards has definitely pushed the boundaries of Magic card design these days, and yeah, you see stuff like that, and I just it's interesting, but I don't know. Wait, we got a Watery Grave from the opponent, and I suppose all this means is that we are running out the Tifa Lockhart and praying Watery Grave means an opponent's not on just a whole bunch of removal. Hey, it could be interesting. Okay, you know what? Hey, sometimes these types of decks aren't just on removal.deck. Interesting. We got a little bit... That's not the greatest draw there. But you know what? We're going to go crashing in for 4 points of damage. It's something. And then on the following turn, we're actually able to put out quite a bit of damage if we really want to. With the... We have options, actually. We can go Ice Tail into Escape Tunnel for 4 triggers. Or we can go Traveling Chocobo into Escape Tunnel for 4 triggers. Well, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. So what does 4 triggers end up being, right? 2, 4, 8... 16 points of damage. So if the opponent doesn't have any blocker on the field, which, or if they just do that, I suppose that's an option as well. And a most decrepit old bird hitting the field. So from here, I guess it's probably better to do the Mossborn Hydra this time around. Start getting some counters onto old Mossy here, and just lean into the Ice Till Explorer plan for the following turn. Maybe we get in with a Mossborn. Maybe we don't. Don't know what the opponent's doing. If you don't know Most Decrepit Old Bird, this thing, this creature gets +1/+1 as long as there are 7 or more cards in your graveyard. So they're definitely probably like on an Oculus plan. They want to load up their graveyard with as much nasty stuff. There's the Oculus. And then eventually bring it back with this helping hand. So the Pickpocket, milled 4 cards, then put an instant sorcery or fairy card from among the milled cards into your hand. This allows them to bring back the tapped Abhorrent Oculus. And that is a pretty good situation for the opponent. The problem is, I think they might just be dead on the following turn. They don't seem to have any more things that they can do. They can't stop this Mossborn Hydra. An old Mossy boy is about to smack the opponent down for a ton of damage, all thanks to this absolutely busted card. Everything's so busted, right? If we draw a Fable Passage, we can actually do even more damage. No, maybe not. Yes, we could, because we could also put out the Earthbender Ascension. We could get 5 triggers on the Mossborn. Okay. Hey, 5 triggers? Yes, we can still do 5 triggers. If the opponent allows us to do it. So, here comes 16. We put out the Fable Passage one more time. This gives us 3 mana. And then that allows us to do the Earthbender Ascension. So we would have had... How much power would we have had? Enough. Let's just say that. 2 more? Yeah, let's go for 10. Jack D. Ripper. Sure. I don't know why. Had to sound it out to understand what was going on. Whoa, we're finding all of our fetch lands, which is not great, but it does lead us into cool stuff. And we do have a Tifa, but it's a turn 3 Tifa into Ice Till Explorer or Ouroboroid. This is bad, right? That's a bad hand. You can't keep that. This is just a better hand. So mulliganing, even though you don't like to do it, I think it's important to accept that once in a while you can't trust a hand that only does something on turn 3, right? The opponent has the Aunt May, and that's a problem because old Aunt May can't actually get through. So, do I want to go Bristly Bill and then stuff, or do I just throw down the Tifa Lockhart and start windmill kicking my opponent in the face? And I think it's probably old kick girl here. Get in here, you human monk. Why monk? That's fine. That's good because they actually can't kill any of our creatures this way. So from here, it's probably just going to be Bristly Bill into Fabled Passage. Yeah. Let's just bring the heat. Sure. And swing on in. Swing in. It's going to be a pretty good little kick. I think I'm definitely going to crack the Fabled Passage if they... Doesn't matter. If they block, they don't block. I think it's worth it to put the damage onto the opponent's dome right now. So 13 points of damage on turn 3 is not such a bad deal. And then we have the Earthbender Ascension follow-up. It's not going to be giving trample to anything, but as long as they don't have the nasty card for the Tifa... Oh, they have it. They have it every single time. Oh, I'm not strong enough. Emotionally, I'm not strong enough to deal with Sheltered by Ghost. Oh, it's just a Deep Cavern Bat. It's fine. It's fine. So, ouch, opponent. They are going to be taking a bit of a kick to the dome, and they're only able to mitigate 6 points of damage. Oh, they come in for the attack. That's an interesting attack. Well, I don't think there's any harm in blocking that. They could still have a Seam Rip, but it seems like the opponent is just Thoughtseize Bug. If you know, you know. That's the Thoughtseize Bug for you. The poor opponent reaches into our hand to grab the Earthbender Ascension, only to have one more copy on the top of the library. It's so stupid sometimes. Often. That's what the deck does. That's why we're here. That's why we're playing it. Final game. Caldrago. Talk about an opponent. Again, we are being challenged with making choices. We are on the draw. We have an Ice Till Explorer fetch land that we're going to be putting into the graveyard on turn 1. We have really good cards. I think risky, but worth keeping. That sucks. So let's throw the Shaz's Chocobo in away. I think it's probably that. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, well, we need to find the third and probably even the fourth land. The third land is especially essential, but with 24 lands, we should be fine. It's like a 40-something% chance to draw a land over the next turn or two. A little bit more than 40 over the next couple of turns. We should find it. We should? We should. We found it. Hey, we did it. So, put out the threat. Put out the threat, I think. And then next turn we can go Bristly Bill, start loading up the girl with +1/+1 counters, pray that they don't have the Sheltered by Ghost, and then eventually get the Ice Till Explorer onto the field for a big windmill kick. That seems to be the plan. The backup plan, we are against the Flyers deck, so we do have the Sapling Nursery that maybe we're going to be able to get onto the field on turn number 4 or 5. Maybe. That's pretty good for the opponent, though. They are generating a ton of value with this Starfield Shepherd. So they're going to have a Momo coming down soon. They're also growing the Youthful Valkyrie, so it's going to be a pretty good attacker. That's like 5 damage. I can't just be taking damage like that, though. And a second Bristly Bill is not what you want to see. So we need the next cards to be probably lands, no attack. We need to get her up a little bit healthier so that she can crash in against these very beefed up angels. Oh, practiced offense. Is GG? Sure. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? This is standard. This is what you came here for. Practiced offense. What a card. The crutch of the meta of so many decks. I love it. So 2026 Magic. Angels still viable in the format. Proven in that last game. Beating up on one of the best decks in the format, Landfall. Whether or not this is the best configuration for Landfall, I don't know. Maybe you want to go with something a little bit different. I got a couple of other ones over here. I did mention in the intro, but if you want to see something like the Nylea deck, this thing's probably pretty cool. It does do some nasty stuff, but you are kind of all in on that initial game plan of get a Tifa or a Traveling Chocobo on the field, try to protect it as best you can with a Snakeskin Veil, and slam in. And then, of course, something, oopsie, not this one, but the Harmonizer build of the deck, doing some weird stuff. This build actually was more like this, but I didn't have 2 of them, so I didn't do that. But this thing doing a little bit similar to what my deck was doing, just in a little bit of a different way. As for this one goes, yeah, it still works. I'll be perfectly honest, though. It's not all that enjoyable to play, right? When you do the crazy thing, it's kind of fun. You get a giant Mossborn Hydra, you get a giant Tifa, but like most of the time you don't even get that satisfaction of being able to pull it off because people are so fast on that concede button. So yeah, as far as like satisfaction goes, this deck for me is pretty low overall, and I think it's probably coming through in the video. I don't think I was very high energy this morning. Actually kind of had a hard time doing the intro I mentioned earlier, and maybe that's because this deck is, I don't know, the passion is not there for this one, but it is strong at doing what it does. If you just want to play a very linear deck that is going to put stuff on the field and go, you can play something like this. It does have some tricky lines, but if you play 20 or 30 games of this deck, I think you'll probably get a pretty good idea for how to put out your cards and what cards to expect off the top of the library. But things do get a little bit weird when you're starting to play stuff off the top with the Traveling Chocobo, or you're trying to plan out how you want to arrange this. I don't think I played it particularly well in a lot of the games. I probably ended up putting out, you know, a Tifa when I should have probably put out something else. I don't know. It's definitely tricky. It takes some work, and you're going to have to put in some reps to get used to this deck. But it's viable. Of course it is. You know, it's fine. You don't need Badgermole Cub. I don't think it... Did it really even play Badgermole Cub? And now that the meta is a little bit slower, I think you can just run this one pretty comfortably, climb to Mythic, if this is your type of deck. As for me, I'm going to be retiring it. I don't know when I'll ever come back to this one. I'm sure I'll revisit it every 6 months or so to see what's going on. But the deck hasn't changed. It's still doing what it does. Let me know what your opinions on Landfall are. I always like to hear those. And let me know what you're playing these days in a post-Storm Chaser Badgermole Cub Grand world. Have your decks of choice changed? Are you doing new stuff with the Hobbit cards? All those questions. I always like to hear what y'all are up to. I was also told that I'm not supposed to say y'all anymore, but clearly it is now part of my vocabulary. So let me know what all of you wonderful people are playing. I would love to hear from you. That's it for this one. Take care for now, Sangipuna, and I'm going out for a much needed walk to clear my head because things are all jumbled up. Bye-bye.